Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about something very real. Narcissists. Those who thrive on power, manipulation, and placing themselves on pedestals. We don't play games to hurt anyone, Fetnaut, but sometimes life requires you to remain firm and keep the peace. And if you're dealing with a narcissist, you need to know how to restore your power without lowering yourself to their level. Let's discuss about 6 things they truly despise. Not to attack, but to empower yourself and demonstrate that you are not to be messed with. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, expertly manipulating words and situations to elicit a response from you. Their entire game is around control, which they achieve by drawing you into their web of drama, conflict, and mind tricks. They flourish when they can cause you to doubt yourself, question your worth, or react emotionally to their actions. However, by choosing to withdraw or just not react, you disrupt their entire strategy. Ignoring a narcissist does not imply you are weak or disinterested. It signifies you are reclaiming your power. They despise being neglected, since your attention is their fuel. Whether they shower you with phony praise or try to trap you with criticism, their goal is always the same: to keep you emotionally invested. When you don't answer, you're essentially shutting off the supply that they sorely require. Their tactics, whether gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or passive hostility, lose their potency once you stop feeding into them. Your silence becomes their frustration, your serenity, their loss. They may escalate their attempts to agitate you, attempting various approaches to retake control. But your continuous failure to engage undermines their tactics. Ignoring them does not mean pretending they do not exist. It is about deciding not to give them access to your emotional energy. It takes a conscious decision to rise above the manipulation and not let their behaviors determine your peace of mind. By refusing to react, you compel them to confront the emptiness they try so hard to escape. They want to feel important, strong, and in control, but your indifference tells them that their authority is an illusion that they cannot maintain without your help. This is why disregarding their approaches is more than just a matter of self-preservation. It's a way to completely neutralize their impact. Narcissists despise boundaries because they symbolize something they cannot control: your autonomy and self-respect. They thrive on infiltrating your personal space, emotional territory, and even your sense of self. When you draw a line and remain steadfast, it conveys a message that they cannot ignore. This is my area, my rules, and you are not permitted to violate them. Establishing and enforcing limits is one of the most powerful actions you can take, and narcissists loathe it. Setting limits entails more than simply refusing their demands. It is about clearly stating your ideals, needs, and limitations. It is about refusing to participate in the toxic dance that they attempt to lead. When you impose boundaries, you undermine the foundation of their manipulative methods. They can no longer rely on your obedience or emotional availability to fuel their ego. But here's the deal. Narcissists will test you. They will push, prod, and guilt trip you, attempting to make you feel selfish or unreasonable for seeking your own well-being. They may alternate between charm and violence, employing every trick in their repertoire to overcome your limitations. This is when enforcement becomes critical. A barrier without enforcement is equivalent to a closed door with an open window. Narcissists will find a way in if they detect even the slightest hesitancy. Enforcing boundaries entails standing firm in the face of their manipulation. It's about constantly refusing to get involved in their drama, even when they raise their attempts to make you feel uncomfortable or guilty. It's about seeing through their attempts to provoke you, a desperate attempt to regain control. Holding your ground is about more than just keeping your personal peace. You're sending a message that their games no longer work for you. Boundaries are more than just barriers. They serve as bridges to your independence. They define who you are and what you won't accept. For a narcissist, boundaries represent rejection, which they cannot tolerate. However, for you, boundaries are a declaration of self-worth, a reminder that you have the ability to influence how you are treated, and an act of reclaiming control over your life. A narcissist's entire existence revolves around the desire for validation. Their sense of self-worth is fragile, and they need on external praise, adulation, and frequent confirmation to maintain their inflated self-image. Feeling good about themselves isn't enough. They rely on others to do the difficult job while continually feeding their ego. This is where you have a really powerful tool that refuses to validate their ego. When you cease providing them with the constant adoration they crave, you undermine the foundation of their self-created reality. Narcissists rely on other sources to preserve their feeling of self-importance. Every comment, every ounce of praise they receive is like a drug, fueling their sense of superiority. By withholding validation, you stop being a part of their supply chain, and their self-esteem begins to deteriorate. Refusing to validate their ego does not imply being cold or harsh. It's about recognizing the toxic dynamics at work and deciding to stop contributing to their need for frequent reinforcement. When they try to fish for compliments or affirmation, remain impartial and provide no praise or flattery. You do not contribute to their self-aggrandizing narrative or inflated sense of importance. Instead of responding to their desire for attention, you maintain your own feeling of worth, undisturbed by their attempt to raise them. The narcissist's frustration builds when they realize they can't get what they want from you. They may resort to deception, guilt, tripping, or playing the victim to get a response. They may even try to make you feel bad about not acknowledging their excellence. But by refusing to validate their ego, you prevent them from controlling the narrative. You no longer let their sense of significance control the flow of discussion or the course of the relationship. Narcissists are driven by the need for constant attention. Nevertheless, withholding that attention acts as a mirror, reflecting their genuine, vulnerable nature. Without outward approval, they start to feel the weight of their own emptiness. They can no longer pretend to be someone they are not, and the reality check is uncomfortable for them. Refusing to validate their ego exposes them to the loneliness and insecurity they strive to avoid. Confidence is the armor that defends you from the narcissist's attempts to lower your self-esteem. It's not about being loud or too pushy. True confidence is based on a strong, unshakable belief in your own worth and talents. Genuine self-confidence acts as a shield against the narcissist's deceptive tactics. They can't shake you because you know who you are, what you stand for, and how strong you are inside. For a narcissist, confidence poses a direct threat. They take advantage of other people's insecurity to control, manipulate, and degrade them. However, when you come into a room with your head held high, unapologetically claiming your space, they are confronted with a force they cannot control. Confidence radiates from within and conveys a message. You cannot diminish me. It is not arrogance. It is an acknowledgement of your intrinsic worth. A modest but powerful unwillingness to let anyone define you other than yourself. When you stop looking for affirmation from others, particularly narcissists, you change the power dynamics in your favor. You no longer allow others to control your emotions or question your decisions. Narcissists use your doubts, fears, and persistent want for their approval to keep power over you, but confidence alters that. When you trust yourself, you don't need to seek permission or wait for someone to approve of your decisions. You base your decisions on what is consistent with your values and goals. A narcissist will continually point out weaknesses or cause you to doubt yourself. They may criticize you, diminish your accomplishments, or make you feel unworthy of respect. However, these attacks do not weaken your inner confidence. Rather, they strengthen it. You recognize their words as reflections of their own fears, not statements about who you are. When you exude confidence, you convey a clear message. You are unavailable for manipulation. You will not submit to their will or let them dictate your narrative. Confidence provides a sense of invulnerability by establishing your self-worth as unshakable. Narcissists who rely on destabilizing others see no value in someone who understands their own worth. You are in control of your emotional landscape, and your confidence ensures that no external influence, no matter how manipulative, can alter your sense of identity. One of the most effective methods to make a narcissist miserable is to demonstrate that you can flourish without them. Narcissists thrive on the assumption that they are irreplaceable, that they are responsible for your pleasure, success, or emotional stability. They enjoy the idea of being in control of your ideas, behaviors, and emotions. However, when you begin to live your life independently and thrive without their presence, you challenge their very idea of yourself, which is critical. Thriving without a narcissist is more than just surviving in their absence. It's about living so that their absence is barely noticed, or better yet, becomes a footnote in your life. This can be a heartbreaking realization for them because they rely on you for emotional, financial, or psychological support. When you stop looking to them for approval, affection, or attention, you're telling them you don't need them to feel complete, content, or happy. The narcissist feeds off of your vulnerability, need for their approval, and devotion to them. When you begin to thrive independently, it demonstrates to them that you are self-sufficient and that your happiness is not dependent on their manipulation or presence. This does not imply that you cease worrying about your own well-being or cut them off it's not in a dramatic or angry way, but rather a calm unwillingness to let them dictate the course of your life. You may discover that when you begin to thrive, you feel more energized, confident, and focused on your objectives. You start to surround yourself with people who genuinely support and care about you, and who contribute positively to your development. Your social circle expands, your confidence rises, and your accomplishments multiply. Each step you take towards personal accomplishment is a blow to the narcissist ego, reminding them that their place in your life is not as important as they once thought. Thriving without them also entails focusing on your own dreams, pursuing your own hobbies, and shaping your own destiny. The narcissist may attempt to undermine your success, diminish your accomplishments, or minimize your development. But none of this matters, since you have already disengaged from their desire for control. You are no longer waiting for their approval to pursue your passions, and their attempts to make you feel small are no longer effective. As you continue to thrive, you will become more aware of your own worth and less vulnerable to narcissistic techniques. You gain confidence and become more resistant to their attempts to manipulate or degrade you. Narcissists can't stand seeing others thrive without them, because it reveals their own lack of substance and emptiness, which drives their desire for control. And that, my friends, is precisely the kind of power that shakes their foundation. Staying calm in the face of adversity is one of the most effective strategies to break free from a narcissist. Narcissists thrive in chaos, drama, and emotional turmoil. They use your emotions to cause uncertainty, control your behavior, and put you in a perpetual state of instability. However, by learning to remain calm in the midst of a storm and refusing to be startled by their antics, you neutralize their capacity to control you. Narcissists frequently produce storms or periods of emotional volatility in which they lash out, manipulate, or cause difficulty. They understand that if they can elicit an emotional response from you, they will gain influence. This is when you need to use your most powerful tool, the ability to stay calm, unaffected, and unshakable in your inner tranquility. It's not easy and requires effort, but remaining calm in these situations sends a tremendous message. It's a statement that says, "I will not be swayed by your attempts to disturb my peace." When a narcissist realizes they can no longer entice you into the emotional maelstrom they create, they become dissatisfied. They might try harder, pressing your buttons to see if they can get a reaction. However, by remaining cool, you demonstrate that you are resistant to manipulation. You no longer give them the pleasure of watching you lose control. Instead, you become an unyielding force, unaffected by their efforts to destabilize you. Staying calm in the storm does not imply concealing your feelings or pretending that everything is okay when it isn't. It is about maintaining control over how you react to the narcissist's behavior. It's about deciding not to let their actions control your emotional state. It's about taking a step back, watching the issue without becoming involved in the drama, and making decisions based on clarity rather than emotional upheaval. This needs a tremendous amount of self-discipline. It entails refusing to engage in petty debates or be lured into the narcissist's world of blame, guilt, and projection. It is about recognizing their behavior as manipulation and deciding to rise above it. When you can keep your cool in the face of their provocations, you not only safeguard your own mental and emotional well-being, but you also demonstrate that you are not someone they can manipulate. Furthermore, remaining calm in the storm allows you to think more clearly. When you are emotionally unstable, you lose sight of your objectives, values, and the facts of the circumstance. Narcissists thrive on clouding your judgment, making you wonder your choices and doubt yourself. When you stay calm, your mind remains clear and concentrated. You can assess the issue honestly, make sound decisions, and behave in ways that benefit your best interests. Maintaining your composure also helps you protect your limits. Narcissists frequently attempt to break down the barriers you've built by emotionally manipulating you into feeling guilty, worried, or insecure. However, staying cool reinforces those boundaries, letting them know that their emotional games will not work. You've established a strong sense of inner serenity that no outward upheaval can disrupt. This unchanging serenity becomes a potent sort of defense against their attempts to dominate or provoke you. By learning the art of remaining cool, you reclaim control. You stop being a pawn in their emotional game and begin playing on your own terms. It's more than just weathering the storm. It's about becoming the calm center of the storm, knowing that no matter what turmoil happens around you, you'll stay grounded tranquilly in your truth and strength. At the end of the day, coping with a narcissist means regaining control. It's important to recognize their strategies and avoid allowing them to influence, control, or define you. When you reject their tactics, set boundaries, refuse to validate their ego, and remain strong in your own self-worth, you dismantle the power they once had over you. As you begin to thrive without them, demonstrating that your happiness and success are not dependent on their approval, you begin to convince them that they are not the center of your universe. When you remain calm in the face of a storm, you form an impenetrable shield around your peace, refusing to be provoked or drawn into the pandemonium. Staying cool, no matter how hard they attempt to provoke you, deprives them of the ability to control your emotions and behaviors. You reclaim your personal space, calm, and strength. In the end, it isn't about fighting back or seeking vengeance. It's about rising above, standing your ground, and becoming the finest version of yourself. By doing so, you deprive the narcissist of their main source of power, your emotional weakness. You transform into a formidable power. And this, my friends, is how you make a narcissist miserable.